politics are important and whatnot. I just get burned out talking of them 7 days a week. That's all.
And if it didn't affect our hobby, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't.
What did I miss?
They were just talking about a new poll came out today that if the elections were going to be held today, Donald Trump 266 electoral, Hillary Clinton 272. There's room for the margin of error. It's very close.
Yeah, I saw a poll last night that she was only up on Trump by 2 points and 1.8 in the four-way.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. DB had mentioned that when they actually include all the different people, or just at least the four that even kind of have a chance, Hillary ends up sliding down. Like, I thought DB said that like Trump ends up winning when you include all four, but there could be different ones.
Trump is polling, I guess, really well right now in the states that were predominantly purple because he's looked as anti-establishment. A lot of the Bernie voters are actually rooting for him because they hate.
What are you laughing at, Smegs?
Something G-Web said. I have to apologize. He said, "Please don't mention Hillary and four-way at the same time."
All right.
So,
Bill,
do that on Match
Monica. What was the other one? Who was the other chick?
I don't know the other chick.
Bill Stein?
No, Monica and like someone else.
Who's Monica?
Monica Lewinsky.
Is she running?
No.
No, she's not running. I'm just thinking of the scandal.
Janet Reno.
No, Paula someone?
No idea.
I don't know. Anyways, Bill and those three chicks.
I think if this were to happen today, it would be a coin toss, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. This is going to be interesting for sure.
It's going to be one to remember, that's for sure.
It sucks. I'm actually going to be on duty during the election. We're preparing for civil unrest.
On duty where?
California.
Wait. How are you going to be able to how are you going to be able to, be on duty and defend yourself because you're not allowed to own a firearm in California?
When I'm on duty, yeah.
Yeah, when he's on duty, he's part of the special class.
That's right. Yeah. He's part of the privilege class when he's on duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's why I honestly wish all of these...
I got to say it for Heavy B. You asshole.
All of these, like, anti-gun bills, they always include... they have exemptions for, like, retired police and off-duty cops and all that stuff. So they're allowed to own, ARs and mags and shit like whenever they want. I really wish they would stop doing that and we could get like the police union on our side because they normally back all the gun control things. Sheriffs are pro-gun. City police are normally more anti-gun, like, again, as a whole.
Yep. Yeah, chief of police are usually more anti-gun than sheriffs. City cops generally. The reason city cops tend to be more anti-gun is because they were pretty much raised in the city in a more left-wing environment. They look at law enforcement strictly as a job. A lot of cops that I talked to that were city cops didn't even know what gun they were carrying.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, I can see it from their point of view. A city cop probably only interacts with a gun when it's like a bad guy that has it who shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like whereas sheriffs might pull someone over for speeding and they happen to have a gun in the car and it's just another thing.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I'll always remember in my hunter safety class, there was a little segment or whatever where a DNR officer came and kind of explained some of the hunting rules and like took questions and whatever.
Do not
And one of the things he said is, in our job, every single person we go talk to has a gun in their hand because we're meeting them in the field, like whether they're poachers or they're just checking license or like whatever they're doing, is like they are around all the time and bad stuff doesn't happen. So we look at guns as just a tool, whereas city cops, every person they interact with, they see it as a weapon.
Absolutely right. Yeah. One of my buddies used to be totally pro-gun. He was all about building AR-15s and all that stuff. When he became a cop, he totally became anti-gun. Well, he didn't become anti-gun, but he became anti-regular Joe Schmo owning guns. Because he's like, wow, now I'm on the business end of these guns. And he's like, and it scares me that if I were ever to kick down the door or something like that, there might be a guy on the other end with like a rifle with like 100-round drum.
Oh, fucking tough shit. Then don't be a cop.
Yeah, but you know we can say that, but it doesn't change the fact that that's how they believe. That's what they believe. So.
Yeah, well, and again, obviously we're speaking generalizations, but yeah, it's a us against them mentality, and the cops get it in their training because, I mean, I understand it. They have to train for worst case scenario, but when they do these drills where it's like, you know, simunitions or whatever, and they go on like a traffic stop, and they walk up to the car, and the dude like jumps out and starts shooting them. Like, yeah, that could happen. It's super, super, super rare. But it gets drilled in their head that every second of every day, someone's trying to kill them, and then that's why they react the way they do.
Well, it depends what city you live in too. I mean, that may or may not be true.
Sure, but that's the majority of them. That's their mindset because that's, you know, they train for worst case scenario all the time.
Yeah. It's still more dangerous to work construction or be a lumberjack or whatever.
Yeah, but nobody's trying to go and kill a construction guy. I mean,
yeah, they still die more.
It depends, dude.
It's not like when you get there on a job site in the morning, you're like, all right, you need to watch that fence and watch that fence because with people that are walking by, really have it out for you. They want.
Have you ever heard of a person called Jimmy Hoffa? I mean, construction isn't exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
No, I know.
I mean, I grew up in a law enforcement family. I grew up, you know, my dad was a cop, his dad was a cop. I worked in law enforcement. All of my friends were cops. You know, so it is a very dangerous job. And unfortunately, you're in a profession to where people want to hurt you. You're basically told, fuck you 350 times a day. You're the most hated person in the country right now, especially. Like yesterday, there was a guy that tried to run over 4 cops at a gas station. You know, he saw them in his window and he just floored it right into them here in Phoenix. And so there's a war on police right now. I don't care what the liberals say. There's this rhetoric right now that it's an open season on cops. So yeah, they're going to be a little sketchy right now, especially since they're being blown away for just looking at somebody. I'm not saying that their thinking is right. I'm not saying that they should perceive everyone as a threat. Of course not. But here's the thing that my dad told me. You know who we are. You see us rolling around every day in a black and white wearing a uniform. I have no idea who you are. And he's like, and that's something to think about. And he's like, so put yourself in our shoes for 5 seconds. And you realize that the job we have, we're rolling around in a Target all day. And he's like, and it's not, you know, it's we love our jobs, we respect it, we like helping people, but at the end of the day, we know that we're walking around with a big old target on our back.
Okay, I'm not disrespecting cops or anything. I don't hate cops. I hate certain aspects of law enforcement, but those are more to do with the laws that they enforce. And I understand that they don't get to choose which laws they enforce. I'm fine with that. It's a job. But the statistics aren't on the side of, oh my god, this job is super dangerous. It's like moderately dangerous, and I've been in those shoes. I've done that, and like, okay, dude, it's yeah, it's a risk. If you don't want to risk it, don't be a cop. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think it's ridiculous to go like, I want to be a cop, but in order for me to be a cop, they should take everyone's guns away, so only I have a gun, so I'll feel safe. It's part of the job is taking risks that a civilian doesn't take. It's
Right.
just part of it.
Oh, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I do not believe in taking anybody's guns away, whatever whatsoever. And I've always had the notion that we have these freedoms as a country, for better or for worse, and I don't think they should be changed at all. You know, and this is going to sound shitty, but if tomorrow 20 police officers got shot with an AR-15, I would say that is terrible, but that doesn't give you the right to take away everything. You know what I mean? Because what that one individual did, or what those couple individuals did, do not make up for the monopoly of people that haven't done anything wrong. So I wouldn't say that a certain number of small acts qualify as, you know, restricting or banning an entire class of tools based on the acts of the few, and I think that pertains to all gun control. But as cops, they see the worst of the worst every day. You know, they see the worst people that ever walked the earth, and it kind of puts you in a shitty mindset. I remember when I was working with law enforcement, like, I started to become jaded, for lack of a better word. I saw everything as bad. I saw everybody as a possible threat. I watched everybody's pockets, you know, like, I watched, everyone was a threat to me. And
I walk the street like that as a civilian.
right.
That's okay. That's not a
Different.
problem.
You're in
but
another country of which, you know, is not as well. You have your own problems.
it's much safer. That's
Yeah.
not the point. I'm forcing myself into that mindset because even though it's not, it's very unlikely that I'll ever be under attack in the street. If that happens, I want to be ready for it. So, I just do it on purpose. Like, I play little games with myself, like noticing, like, I'm gonna try and notice the color of everyone's, I don't know, shirt or shit like that, just so I watch people. Even though I don't really need to, and I live in a very small town now, so there's basically zero risk of something happening to me. But
Yeah, it's always good to have situational awareness, dude. And I think a lot more people would probably be alive today if they had better situational awareness. It's like that
but
one thing.
my disappointment with cops here, and I'm not sure about cops over there, but I have a hunch that it's probably the same, is I would hope that as a community and people that have a voice, and cops do have a voice, more of a voice than other people, because there's a lot of them that wear a uniform and, you know, they're part of the system in the end. They would step up and say, listen, part of the reason that we have so much problems is bullshit laws. We as police officers are doing so much bullshit that shouldn't be our job. And that puts us in risk, and it puts people at risk because we're interacting with them and we have guns. So if that, you know, if that was the viewpoint, I'd be fine with it, but not, I don't know. I don't know.
I agree, dude. Yeah, I mean, like, imagine that, like, so imagine the person's attitude when, say, he's a shop owner, right? And a cop pulls him over, and this guy's in danger of his life because maybe he lives in a bad area. So he's got a gun under the seat. You know, he's not a bad guy. He's not a felon. He wants to protect himself and his family in case, you know, something happens. This cop pulls him over, and because he's a good guy, he's going to tell the cop, hey, just officer, just, you know, I have a gun under the seat. I'm not a felon or anything like that. However, I have been having some problems with the people in my neighborhood. I just want to protect my family. The cop is in a dilemma now. He sees this guy's a good guy. He probably ran his background, nothing up there. However, he has a law to enforce. Then it puts the other guy in odds with the cop because he's like, why are you punishing me? I'm not a bad person. These laws are unjust. You know, that you shouldn't be punished just for trying to stay alive. And so then both are at odds with each other because the cop, you know, is probably like, well, this is bullshit, but this is my job. And the other guy is like, hey, this is bullshit. I thought you guys were here to help people. So, you know, and that's one thing my dad always told me, though. He's like, you know, hey, look, I don't make the laws. He told me this. He's like, one thing that, this is what I've always said. I don't like the laws, some of them. I may not even agree with them, and I may not even support them, but it is my job to enforce them. You don't like the laws? Change them. He's like, but I am tasked with enforcing them, and I may not even like it, but at the end of the day, I'm tasked with the job of enforcing the laws that I swore to uphold. But yeah, the laws, I do believe, make cops out to be the bad guys, especially California's laws.
Yeah, it's not only gun laws; it's other laws. It's basically injecting the police into a bunch of situations where I don't think they belong. And again, you know, it's to a point. It's better now that when police have more non-lethal options at their disposal. But you know, at the end, a police officer is not a social worker. A police officer is not a religious man. A police officer, well, he might be, but it's not his job. Like,
Right.
they're sent there to take care of all the crazies and people that need help. They don't need help from a police officer. They need maybe medical help or mental health help, but they don't need. And the police officer carries a gun. You know, when you carry a gun, at least when I carry a gun, I'm constantly thinking about the fact that I'm carrying a gun and I might have to use it. So, you know, when I have an adverse interaction with someone, I mean, I don't know. It's putting the lives of these police officers and the lives of the people they interact with at risk for reasons that just don't necessitate police. That's
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like police. It's like police are being tasked right now with being like social workers, priests,
Yeah.
and mental health people.
And
You're robbing a liquor store. That's a job for a cop. You know, you're speeding. That's a job for a cop. You know, but if you're sitting there talking to yourself, that should be somebody else's department.
and you're I don't know, smoking in a non-smoking area. Really, we're sending cops for that or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you. It's stupid as shit.
Because like in the U.S., you have a lot more. Like, I think you fear your police more than we fear our police, and you respect them more than we. Like, if a police officer came over to me and said, like, and I was smoking non-smoking area, and he'd be like, "Why are you smoking here?" Well, this would never happen because I wouldn't do it. But I'm like, "Fuck off! What does it have to do with you?" Why? And I'm sure the police officer is like, "Why is this on my like? I have enough shit to do without
Right.
dealing with this garbage." So I don't know. It's part of the state and the government invading every field of life. And, you know, they only have one tool. At the end, they only have the tool of enforcement. And that's why I always find like social justice warriors of all their types to be very funny people, because on the one hand, they're terrified of the police, right? They think the police is out to get them and whatever, right? On
Right.
the other hand, they want a bunch of laws that can only be enforced by people that serve, you know, people that do police work. Like, the type of people who are such social justice warriors are not going to be able to enforce the law because they just don't have what it takes. They're not. You need a certain amount of violence in your system to do it sometimes. I've done it, so I know.
Right. Yeah. There's certain types of people that are built to kind of flick that switch when it needs to go on, but then turn it off when you go home. And there's people out there like that, and there's people out there that couldn't even conceive of acting like that. Like, you and I were trained and also have the mindset that if we need to, we can take somebody's life. We're not going to enjoy it, but we have that ability. People like these social justice warriors that want all this, like, kind of police state stuff, they don't understand what it takes to do that, nor do they even want that to have happen. They think they want that. They think they want everybody's life to be like, you can't do this, that. But they don't want to deal with the effects of that.
Yeah, there was a very funny meme on the Israeli internet a couple years ago when we had the big socialist protests and whatever, and the top was like, these people with signs up for government intervention and a bunch of shit, and and the bottom was the police, like beating the shit out of them with batons and pepper spray, and the caption was like, you asked for more government intervention, you got more government intervention. So
Careful what you wish for.
yeah, what do you think is going to happen? It's not going to be. They're not going to enforce. Let's say, if you're going to say now that, okay, using offensive words is a criminal offense, which these people are basically pushing, that if they're offended, it's a criminal act.
Right.
Well, the person who's going to enforce it is not going to be a liberal arts student. Well, I'm actually a history student, but whatever. It's not going to be some social. It's going to be, let's be honest, it's almost certainly going to be the typical person which they hate, which is a
Type A.
male, a male type A personality in his late 20s to late 30s. That's the people that they hate the most. Those are the people that are going to be needed to enforce these laws. These laws are not going to be enforced by angry 120-pound female students with big glasses. That's not going to happen.
You're right.
So
You got the
really,
big glasses down right now. Yeah, no. And this is what I don't understand, dude. This is what always just like makes me scratch my head. You have these guys that are saying, we have our rights, we have the Constitution, you can't tell us what to do, get your fucking fingers out of our emails, out of our phones. And then they vote for the people that do just that. They vote for the people that are insanely like police state, or they want super government control.
well, to be fair, the whole emails and privacy thing is pretty weak on both sides of the aisle everywhere right now in the world, because they got us scared. They got everyone scared. Everyone's checking for Muslim terrorists under their beds.
Allahu Akbar.
Huh?
I was like, Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. But everyone's checking for Muslim terrorists under their bed, so they're willing to, like, large portions of the population are willing to hand over their privacy in hopes that the government will, like, find the boogeyman under their bed and everything will be. And that's bullshit. We're going to turn our own governments into worse things than the things that we're afraid of. And I know a thing or two about fucking Muslim terrorists, yeah, right? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. I
don't live in a vacuum. Like, fucking Al Qaeda and ISIS are right now like 10 kilometers from my house, and I don't find that to be justification for the government to look through my mail. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you don't sacrifice your freedom for a false sense of security. So the people
You don't sacrifice them for an actual sense. First of all, there's no security in it, because again, you're going to turn the real problem is going to turn into something else. I'm not saying it is now. I'm not wearing like a tinfoil hat and saying our governments are the real enemy. No, I don't want to topple my own government. I want to change it. I want to do it in non-violent ways, but I'm just saying, if we keep on handing them our rights, what's even the point? What's the difference between living under a Western dictatorship as opposed to living under a Muslim dictatorship? Let's say, what's the difference? You know what they say. It doesn't matter which, if it's the left boot or the right boot. If it's on your neck.
Yeah, it seems like the United States always has to find a boogeyman. You know, it's like during the 80s and 70s, it was the Russians. You know, got to be careful of the Cold War sleepers. And, you know, and...
Whoa. It's still the Russians.
Dude, the Russians don't give a shit. They're sitting here laughing at us. They're like, you know what's so funny that it's Americans? They're having such
I love how the same people who made fun of Sarah Palin when she said the Russians can do this and can do that, and they were like, oh, You know, the 80s want their foreign policy back and whatever. And now the same people, the same Democrats are like, yes, the Russians are these super competent, evil people that are supporting Trump and hacking everything. Oh my God, the Russians are coming. Shut the fuck up. Either they're like, just choose, decide. Because you know, if Hillary gets elected,
It
right?
used to be if you were against communism and if you were against the Russians, you were Republican, not Democrat.
No, you know that if Hillary's elected, she's gonna snuggle up to Putin anyway, right?
Oh yeah.
You realize this. She's gonna be all nice and shake his hand, like, and Trump will do the same. They're all gonna do the same because I mean, we're trying not to have a Cold War. Nobody wants that shit.
Absolutely not.
And it's not like, I think the attempts to affect Russia to go in a positive direction with its internal policy have failed because they just don't like getting instructed by other people. I mean, Russians, as a people, like the Russians I know, they're like, yeah, Putin is bad, our government is shit, but, stay the fuck out of our business. You know?
They're the ultimate power. They're like, you know what? Our country's not perfect sometimes, but we are one powerful fucking country. Do not fuck with us.
No, I get it. I don't
We
like
used
it.
to be like that.
Yeah, we're not powerful at all. Dude. We're a laughing joke. Like, something my ex said that rings true. She said that she hopes that she never sees a female president. And I said, why is that? Like, aren't you a woman? Wouldn't you support that? She's like, no, I
You're roboting, man.
Yeah. We're not getting any of it. Hang on. We're not getting any of it.
I just assumed it was me because my internet's been so fucked up recently.
Yeah, I thought it was me too until Night Strike said something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now. Smegs, you gave up last night because of the factor that you had tech difficulties, right?
Oh
Your
yeah,
internet was
dude.
problem.
Yeah, my.
'Cause
Every
I thought
time-
you were going after us for talking and whatnot.
Oh no.
I didn't say it, but I just said you had technical difficulties just to save face.
So,
Well,
so
no,
what I
that's
was
exactly what happened, dude. I lagged out like 3 or 4 times while I was trying to talk, and I was just like so pissed at my computer. I was like, "Fuck this, I'm done." It had nothing to do with you guys.
So what I was saying was, like, I asked my ex about, like, if she ever wanted to see a woman president. She said no, because other countries look at women as not equal, especially over there in the Middle East, and they would probably not think twice about attacking us. So, like, right now our country as a whole is weak. You know, not us as Americans, but, you know, our leadership is weak. Nothing's scary about Obama. Like, fucking Putin's like, oh, little boy. Like, he's like, you're a joke, dude. You know, I could fucking knock you out with my pinky. You know, and our country is continuing to get weak by all these people that all, you know, every now and then, man, a country needs to flex its muscles. And the United States is not really doing that at all.
I think
I don't know.
South Park summed that up perfectly. It was, I don't know, a few years back or whatever, but it was basically a bunch of people were protesting the war, and then you had a bunch of people that were, you know, pro the war. And basically, like, Cartman goes back in time and sees the founding fathers or whatever, and basically he learned that it's called having your cake and eating it too. See, you have to have the right-wing people so that other countries in the world don't think we're a bunch of, you know, pansies. But then you have to have, like, the left-wing people complain about it, so then the rest of the world doesn't think we're a bunch of heartless bastards.
I don't know that a woman is a problem. It depends on the woman. I fucking guarantee you, nobody when Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister of England, nobody was like, oh, England's so weak. They have a woman Prime Minister. Fuck no, they were like, holy shit, the Iron Lady's coming. We better hide our women, hide our children. She's fucking coming for us. It depends on the politician.
I don't know. I do not see Hillary Clinton as tough.
I don't know.
Well, I don't either, but I don't think it's because she's a woman.
Nah.
No, it's because she's more like she's
I just see Hillary Clinton as being bought and paid for by all of her Wall Street buddies and, all the shit. That's one of the things I don't understand with the left. They all hate rich people and they're all like, oh no, like corporations are ruining this country. Yet you're supporting Hillary Clinton, who takes more money than anybody else from fucking bankers and Wall Street and oil and big pharma and all that stuff. If you really don't like corporations giving money, you sure as hell better not like Hillary Clinton.
Democrats and liberals think with their feelings. They'd rather have somebody that was a corporatist than somebody they feel is a racist. They're all about emotions. So they'd rather see somebody sell out than make fun of. You know what I mean?
They're also a much more, I think worldwide, a much more disciplined voting bloc. Like,
I don't know if
it's
this
much
is
harder
the right word, but they're much more sheeple-ish.
Okay,
Conservatives normally have their views because they kind of thought for themselves. Not saying that all of them, and not all Republicans are conservative or anything, but like that's the thing. That's why I'm not one of the major two parties, because I like to, vote for the person who I like the most instead of against the person I hate the most. And when you use rational thought, you tend to arrive at the idea of smaller government and in every aspect. Don't tell me what to do with my money, but also don't tell me what to do with my penis. I'll put it in whoever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, but I used the word discipline on purpose because I was suggesting that politically it's an advantage for the left, which I believe it is. When you say sheeple, it sounds like it's a disadvantage, but when it comes to the elections, it's a huge advantage for them.
Well, from the politician's point of view, I say sheeple as a disadvantage for the actual people because they're not thinking for themselves, and I think that is a bad way to live your life.
And by the way, discipline is, in some sense, like if we make a philosophical argument out of it, is about like if you think about military discipline, it is a lot of times about saying, okay, I'm going to turn off the part of my brain that makes me question stuff because that guy has more stripes on his uniform than me, and I'm going to do exactly what he says, even though maybe I think he's wrong, but it doesn't matter because there's an order to this,
And now you have just discovered why I never joined the armed forces. I have a very, very hard problem with blind authority to anyone.
Well, yeah, it's not blind authority. It's you have the right to refuse a order if it's illegal or immoral.
Right, but still, they beat that obedience into you. And I get why they do it because you can't. If someone makes a decision, what?
You graduated college, right? You've got a degree, right?
That is correct.
Okay, you're an engineer. I'll tell you right now, you would not have to worry about that too much because you'd be an officer.
Yeah, you also
unless I become the freaking commander in chief, there's still someone over my head, so I would have to worry about it.
Yeah, but here's the one thing about the armed forces. You have a lot of people in there that join. They don't really think for themselves. There was a funny line in this movie called High Crimes with Morgan Freeman. He said, nobody in a uniform can think for themselves. There's a lot of truth to that. I've met a lot of people that don't question anything. Now, there's a difference between questioning and then just blindly following. And, yeah, they break you down and they build you up and to be part of a team, but it doesn't mean that they don't want you to have your own individual personality. It doesn't mean that they don't want you to be, they don't want robots necessarily. I don't know. Then there's the Marine Corps, but that's a whole different story.
Right. Well, and G-Webs is bringing up a good point of that. You still have to know that you're an important part of the system, and every gear is important, but they don't need to know the big picture. And that's what I was kind of getting to, and I sidetracked myself. But it's like I understand why they do that. In the middle of battle, general has whatever information he has. He makes a decision to move 100 people over here and send a tank over there or whatever. If every single person questioned it and he has to explain why it's a good idea to outflank them or send a tank over there, you'd be screwed because, time is important.
Right. And that's why it doesn't require you to abandon rationality. You tell yourself, right, first of all, a lot of people are just like, well, I'm a soldier. I follow orders. I don't give a shit why the orders are given. I'm just going to do it. But for me, I'm not especially big on following other people or whatever, but I just understood that if I started, you can't negotiate an operational order. you can't start like there's a time and place to do that. And once things start, like once you're going from what we call the planning phase into the execution phase, then there is much less space for you to start, questioning this and that. You can advise. I said 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, we were doing an exercise. It wasn't even, it wasn't a classroom. Like we only had the computers with us. And my CO was sitting there with his XO, and they're like, well, where are we going to place the battalion HQ? I'm like, I'm listening in, and they're arguing the points. I'm like, can I put my 2 cents in? They're, yeah, sure, put your 2 cents in. So I'm like, well, I gave my advice or whatever, and that's fine in the planning phase. But you're not going to do that when you're under fire. Like, I have something very important to say right now. Like, no, you don't. Shut the fuck up.
Hang on, time out.
Ceasefire. Hey, look, I got a better idea.
Listen, I've been playing World of Tanks with the Gun Channels guys, and I learned a couple things. Let me try this.
Unless, of
I
course,
don't think it works like that.
Unless, of course, your commanding officer or NCO is really a completely idiot, and he's going to get everyone killed, like, right now. And the only way to stop it is to just not do what he's saying. And then you might do it.
You mean like a newly commissioned officer, like fucking 5 weeks out of Annapolis type thing?
Yes, or he might be just inherently stupid. That also happens. If you think there aren't any stupid officers.
Yes, there are.
He might be a good officer for like when nothing happens, but that's another problem with the military. It takes completely
analytics from experience.
It also takes, like, in my opinion, it takes like 2 completely different types of people to do the 2 jobs. Like when it's all about office work and running inventory and making sure that everyone follows their training charts and all that bullshit, it takes one type of person. And then when it's time to like stab people in the eye with your like bayonet and shit, it's a completely different type of person. There aren't a lot of people who can do both things very well.
One of the biggest problems I saw while I was in the military is they'd be like, oh, this non-field grade officer is really fucking things up because he's a complete and total incompetent. What do we do? Let's promote him to major and put him in an office somewhere and get him out of the way.
Yep. It's the fucking same everywhere. Because they're not going to be like, well, we just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars training this individual. Let's just, send him home. We'll get a new one. It's not a problem. No, they're going to find some place to put him. But see, in my unit, we got it all sorted out. We're 2 NCOs. The other guy does all the inventory and all the, office work and all that stuff because he's good at that. And then when you need to go to the field and actually do like, that stuff, he's like, all right, it's your, we high five each other and I go. Because I'll fuck up the office work if they give it to me. I don't know how to do any of that shit. I lose all the receipts. I never know, like, I don't know how to do any of that. Never found interest in it.
So you're the reason there's $500 hammers.
I would, because if it was $1 per hammer, I would lose like 60 of them.
I lost some ridiculous amounts of equipment when I was in charge of like keeping track of stuff. I shouldn't be trusted with it. We have to know our disadvantages and like pros and cons. You know, you got to be aware of your. Like I sometimes do things. You know, like I take rash decisions. It's very good for a tank commander. It's not so good for other positions. When I was like the bodyguard or whatever for the battalion commander, my you know, my attitude of, oh, here are some people, here's the enemy, let's chase them, you know, they didn't like that when I was a bodyguard. They liked it as a tank commander. As a bodyguard, the battalion commander was like, listen, motherfucker, you better, you know, you're never to be more than 5 yards away from me ever again. Don't ever chase anyone. You're here just to be my security guard. So, you know.
I think G-Webs is trying to get me to sign up.
What, into the military?
Yeah.
I honestly think that, like, it's a good experience for the vast majority of people. Like, some people aren't cut out for it, but I think most people can survive it. And, you know, you eat a lot of shit, but I think you also, like, learn a lot of stuff, and it's good. I don't regret it. I'm happy to go when they call me. I'm actually changing it. They're going to probably, like, send me to officer's course, which is kind of funny because I'm old as shit now in military terms. Oh, no, G-Webs, I'm absolutely not supporting, like, conscription, especially not in a country like the U.S. with such a huge population. I'm not. I don't think you need it.
So
I do actually support a form of conscription, not to the military, but I think that if anyone wants to get this free college and stuff that everybody keeps talking about that they deserve, everybody first should have to do 2 years of public service, either it be military, Peace Corps, something like that, and then you get your free college.
Oh, I just don't support free college. So that solves that for me.
Because I think education is the obligation of the society, so I definitely support free college. Not everyone's going to take advantage of it. Some people are not cut out for college, won't make it through. Probably a good half the people aren't cut out for college, but I think it should be available because in other countries that do provide college for their students, they're starting to outpace us, and that's one of the reasons they're outpacing us.
I don't feel like arguing government involvement in education with a socialist at this time of day.
I don't agree with the word government being a bad thing. Government is the people. That's the people coming together to do something. And if the people come together and decide that something's in their best interest, they have every right to do that. And no one has to take advantage of it.
Well, if you
Come together and build roads, you don't have to drive on them.
If you could, the problem is there isn't a people. There are a bunch of people, and they have.
And in a democracy, if a certain percentage of those people want to do something, they should be able to pool their resources and do it.
Yeah, but they're pulling my resources to do it as well. So
part of it, it's a democracy. That means you are allowed to leave. You're not being held captive in any place. You're allowed to move somewhere where people are like-minded to you, like, say, Russia, where they don't provide free education.
So your solution to me not wanting to be a part of public projects is that I should leave my owned property and go somewhere else.
You've got choices. It's a choice you make. If you choose to be a part.
First of all, that's not even a real choice because there isn't free immigration in the world anymore. There hasn't been for 100 years.
Name one country that you could not immigrate to right now from America.
I don't live in America, so I'll name a bunch of countries that I cannot immigrate to.
Where are you migrating from?
America, most of the Western European, Israel.
You can immigrate to America from Israel.
Really? How?
Easily. We get Israeli immigrants all the time.
Not legally.
Yes, legally. People, we still have legal immigration. Lots and lots of legal immigration. In fact, a lot of studies have been done to show we would have had negative populist growth over the last 10 years if it hadn't been for legal immigration.
It's almost as if I haven't checked this and know what it takes to immigrate from here to your country.
Yeah, you have to go through the proper channels.
Yeah, the proper channels is a lottery, which has a 1 in 100 chance of me actually getting the green card. But okay, dude. Or no, I could also be a millionaire.
Way more than 1 in 100, because right now, if you want to immigrate from Canada, it's about an 85 in 100. Well, it's actually about 100 in 100 right now.
Yeah, but I'm not a Canadian, am I?
You'll be given a green card or at least a work visa. Israel, I'd be willing to bet, since they're in the United Nations and they're a lot higher on the list, I bet you'd be more in the Canada range.
Okay, so you
or something be different.
What are we betting though?
Let's see. Let's look up immigration.
And how are we going to solve this? Like, first of all,
look
I don't have
immigration.
I'm not sure if I have a PayPal account that can accept your money, or like stripper chips, whatever you have.
Let's see how many Israeli immigrants came to the U.S. last year.
Legally.
Well, this only is going to list legal. You can't count illegal. Well, the last number I see is 2,000. Let's see if we can find something newer than that. Here's 2012. Well, here in 2012, it says fewer Israelis are immigrating to the United States. In fact, 27% of all visas went unclaimed. That's from Poll.com that links it to Immigration Statistics USCIS, which is the Department of Homeland Security. So in other words, they're allowing this many people from Israel to come. 47,000 Israelis received green cards. Now, granted, this is 2012. 47,000 Israeli natives had received green cards in the past 10 years out of an available 82,000 green cards that were for them. In other words, less people applied than what were available, or at least less people.
Yes, but but listen, Yankee. The green cards are given, like, the possibility for an Israeli like myself to immigrate to the U.S. There are several options. One of them is obviously, all sorts of marrying someone from the U.S., but we're not talking about that, right? We're talking about just getting a green card, coming to the U.S. and saying, I want to immigrate, and they're like, yeah, sure, come on over.
I don't know why.
That happens.
I think Smeggy.
That happens. I'm sorry.
I said, I don't know why not. I think Smeggy is single.
Yeah, but my wife is going to be, like, super pissed.
Well, she'll get over it.
Yeah, I'm probably hotter than your wife anyway, so.
But here's the thing, though. There are more green cards available than are being claimed by Israeli citizens right now. Because they kind of put allotments, like, we're going to accept this many green cards.
Yeah, it's basically the way it's done is through a lottery, which you have to win. And since I have people that, like, I know that are trying to get that visa for the past, like, 5-6 years and can't get it, I'm telling you, it's not as easy as that.
They're probably only going into a lottery. If there's more available than what's being claimed, they're probably only going into a lottery if they don't meet the grade A criteria, which means they don't meet all the criteria for an automatic visa, meaning they got something in their past that they have to overcome, or something in their past that's going to require extra paperwork.
I don't know.
Like they were in the military or something like that.
Everyone was in the military. It's Israel.
Well, we're talking long-term military, and usually reaching field grade. Because that usually is a big red flag to immigration. If you reach field grade or higher in your military and then you want to immigrate, that's usually a red flag.
It's all I'm saying, dude, is trust me, it's not easy. It's really not easy. Otherwise, as people joke, if it was that easy, there would be no people left in Israel. Everyone in Israel is like, hey, let's go there.
I just don't think a lot of people have the financial resources they need to leave Israel, and the people that do have the financial resources can't take them with them, so they stay there.
I don't know. In any case, Where the hell were we before all of this? Oh, fuck it.
I was gonna buy a new gun, but I don't
Alright,
know what I want.
I finished polishing this one. Look how pretty.
Wow, very shiny.
Never finished.
So what should I buy? I don't know what I want.
I'll buy one of these. Buy a Smith & Wesson carry comp.
I don't really like revolvers.
Are you want a pistol or you want a?
I don't know.
Well, that's pretty like general. Get a
It's super general. I wanted some instant gratification of buying something and making myself happy, but I don't know what I want.
get a hooker then.
No, a gun.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
I'm
get a
sorry.
freaking hooker.
You said instant satisfaction or whatever. I'm sorry, man. Oh, Yankee, I have a question. Speaking of finishes and polishing and stuff, a CZPO1, how hard would that be to change the finish from the black finish that's on it to a stainless or nickel looking? I don't really care what the material is, just
You just want it shiny. You want
Yeah.
shiny metal.
yes. Oh, I think he's like having private time with his revolver now. Yeah, we lost it. Well, Smiggy, what don't you have?
All sorts of stuff I don't have.
No, I mean like, what do you have the least of?
All sorts of stuff.
You're being very difficult about this.
I know. I don't know. Because I don't know, dude. I'm being indecisive.
How many ARs do you have?
I have one AR. I
You
don't
have
really
an
feel like
AK?
buying a new one, though, because I like building those.
You have an AK.
Yep.
You have a shotgun, right?
Yep.
And you have pistols other than the SPO1?
That's the only one I have.
Oh, so definitely get a pistol.
What kind of pistol?
I don't know. Get something smaller, I would say. Like, depends. You said that you would maybe sometimes carry something small. The problem is, you know what's going to happen, though, if you get a smaller one. You're going to get, like, used to carrying that. You're not going to want to carry your SPO1, just so you know.
Well, I don't have a problem carrying the SPO1.
Yeah, but once you're going to have, like, something that's lighter and comfier to conceal and shit, you're going to be like...
And that's, honestly, I'm okay with that. I originally bought the SPO1 just because I wanted, like, a home defense, a
Mhm.
range toy, and then I could also carry. But that was always, like, that's the third, that's the third priority. I use it now because that's what I have, and I don't have a problem doing it. It's just, I was thinking of getting something a little bit lighter for carry.
Moon is saying buy a Glock, which isn't a bad like advice. A Glock 19.
I don't really like Glocks.
Yeah, me neither. But so wait, you have a concealed carry license or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. And does that limit you to carrying one gun at a time?
No, I can carry whatever I want.
No, I mean.
Yeah,
you
I can have backups. I can have 10 backups. Right. I mean.
Well, I would get something that you can carry as a backup, and then when you can't carry your big ass SPO1, you can carry that one. And that's what I would do. That's what I would do if I had another license right now. If I could carry another gun, I would get a smaller gun. I would get some funky guns just because I'm a weird guy, but you can get something that like normal people would get.
Oh, I'm not a normal person.
If I could,
By any means, don't be mistaken that I'm
if I had
normal.
another license tomorrow, and then I would go and say, okay, I'm going to get a backup gun. I would get either a 70 Beretta 71. You probably can't get, and either way, that's maybe not the best option. Maybe a Walter PPK, or I would get something older and classy, or a snub nose, a detective special, or the equivalent Smith and Wesson, which I never remember the names of. That's what you should do. Get a smaller. I mean, you can get a pistol. You don't have it doesn't have to be a revolver. Do you have a 22 rifle?
No, I don't. Yeah, I saw Tony say that. That's on my list of things that I want for sure.
Get a takedown 1022.
He only has one pistol though, so.
What one pistol do you have?
CZ SPO1. So I mean, it works for everything I need it to do.
Get one of those Urban Gray CZ75s I got out, the suppressor ready ones.
Yeah, but that would do, like, in practical terms, would be exactly like what he has now. Like, it wouldn't really.
Yeah, but then I'd have an excuse to buy a suppressor.
That's what I was thinking.
That's true. That's true.
Because that's what someone said earlier today. I was like, man, I think I might go to the gun store on my way home from work tonight and buy a gun. What should I get? And someone's like, get a suppressor. I'm like, you're not realizing this. I need the instant, like, I want that rush of buying something. Buying a suppressor is like a freaking a tease you do to yourself.
Yeah. No, I would definitely, if you go for a pistol, I would go for a small one. I wouldn't buy a full-size CZ. You already have a full-size CZ. It's more of the same. And you have a really nice one. Like, none of them are nicer than that.
Right. Yeah, one of the things I was thinking, because I mean, I'm considering all sorts of stuff. That's why I just asked you guys to make my life decisions for me. But one of the things. Oh yeah, that's great, man. I run my life by committee of gun channels, but
and my first answer was hookers. So you're getting good.
I don't listen to that.
Solid advice.
Yeah, the PPQ Moon. I was thinking of that. I've wanted one from a while ago, so I was thinking of going with that. Which it is a bigger gun, but it's at least polymer. So as far as carrying, it'd be a little bit lighter to carry. And if I do get a handgun, I'm going shooting with my buddy on Friday. So if I go to the store tomorrow and buy something, then I'll be able to shoot it on Friday. Whereas if I get a rifle, because it's an indoor range, I won't really shoot rifles at indoor ranges. It's just not fun.
No, never seen nor touched, obviously, the PPQ, so I have. But I mean, if Moon says you won't regret it, are we talking about the M2 or?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably the M2 is the only one that's sitting around stores right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I trust Moon's judgment. We seem to have similar tastes.
Definitely. I would still get a PPK. If you can get one. Just because it's a PPK.
Yeah, PPKs are neat.
Yeah, and if you go somewhere where you wear a suit, you get to play James Bond.
Yeah, I don't dress up too often. About the only time I dress up is for
You
weddings.
will when you have a
Yeah,
PPK. You'll just feel the urge.
just a random Tuesday night. Like, yep, just wearing my suit, sitting in my couch on hit or miss. Camera
Yeah, but
off.
only if you guys switch on the cameras. You should all just like do this tuxedo edition.
Yeah, we'll pick like one day a month for like a black tie event, hit or miss.
It'll be like everyone wearing tuxedos and Flippy in a panda suit.
Oh, he's not invited to hit or miss, so it's okay.
If he switches on his camera and is wearing a panda suit, you guys better fucking have him on. wanna
You
see
can
it.
you can have
You
him
ever
on your
seen
show.
Have you ever seen a panda holding like an assault rifle? Because I haven't.
You're
I wanna
more
see
than
that
welcome
shit.
to have him on your show.
Oh, I don't have a show.
Well, then make one.
If I had a show, it would be like at 7 a.m. your time or something like that. Nobody would watch it.
That's not true. There's lots of people that have time to kill during the day. I watch the Daily Gun Show. I'm at work, so I can't like join it, but I watch it or at least listen to it, and then I open the window up and type something if I got something to say.
And what would I call my show? All the guns I can have.
You
That's actually not a bad name for it, I guess.
yeah, maybe you could get some of your friends on there or something, and you could be like the international show.
Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do that, but not as a live show. I'd do that as like a channel, like not with edited videos. If I
Hi,
have the
Moon.
time, but I don't.
Moon keeps teasing us, jumping in and jumping out. I wonder if he's having problems or something.
I don't know. There's a bunch of shit you can buy because you only have one pistol, which is kind of weird for a gun guy. That's not very usual.
Well, I just, filled out my needs how I saw fit. And
No,
because
no, it's
well, you
full
know what I
of
mean? Like, I
criticism.
guess what I'm saying is like my priorities. Sure, I'd have like 12,000 guns if I could just have whatever I wanted. But I was trying to get like one of each type of thing. And because the gun that I chose, the handgun I chose was totally fine for all the things I needed it for.
Yeah, I get it.
So I didn't really have like I would rather have had, built my AR than buying a second handgun. I'd rather have bought an AK for AK April than to buy a second handgun.
No, definitely, man.
I would rather have bought a bolt action rifle so I can use it for hunting. Because for 2 years I borrowed a bolt action and I enjoyed that. It was a little bit because before that I just always used my shotgun. I've had a 12 gauge since I was a teenager, and that's what I always used hunting. And I was just kind of getting sick of it, so I wanted a rifle, which I borrowed one for 2 years and was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I ended up just buying my own. And now where I go hunting, like where I sit, because I just go on my family property, so I'm pretty much always in the same spot. I don't really need a rifle, just because of the distances. Like the shotgun would be just fine because the farthest I can see is less than 100 yards, so I'm fine. But we do have a pretty big like field, so if I want to try like a different location, then having the rifle would be worth it because I can reach out and go from like one tree line to the other tree line. Where the shotgun, it wouldn't be accurate at that distance.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand the reason. Just you agree with me that it is kind of unusual.
Possibly, but what did I say a minute ago? Don't mistake me for being normal.
I mean, in practical terms, you have a handgun that actually, you're right, does. I mean, considering that you don't have a problem concealing it and carrying it, which you don't, some people might, then it does everything that you want. What else do you need?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm leaning towards the whole 22 thing because that's one whole category I don't have. I don't have a 22, and that would be nice to just play around with. So it's between the 22, a lever action, which I had been talking about as being my next gun a while back, but maybe I'll just buy that next year sometime, or some type of handgun, I guess. Either a smaller like backup / carry gun or the PPQ.
Maybe it. Yeah, she'll get it. Well, actually,
You know, I don't really like the Ruger SR22 Moon. I I had one in my household, and it was all right, but I wasn't a huge fan of it.
maybe a 22 lever action.
Now the lever action, I think I'm going with the 357.
I'm trying to
then-
combine all your wishes here in one thing.
No, I know that's fine. Just the M&P 22. What's that? I don't know if I'm familiar with that one. M&P 22 compact.
Also, I mean, CZ makes 22 rifles. I don't know if they're good and if they're expensive. I know they do. Oh, I didn't even think of a 22 pistol. But I mean, at that point, why get the compact?
I don't know, because Moon says it's a sweet little gun.
All right. That's also not a bad idea, which Robbie is mentioning.
Oh yeah, getting the conversion kit.
Definitely, man. Is there one for the SPO1?
Yeah, I've seen it
It's not-
before.
That's not a bad idea because you can train a bunch and not wear out your shit and pay less for it. Because I'm assuming 22 is still cheaper than 9mm over there, right?
It is, but not by much anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, 22 is it's about 10 cents a round.
Yeah, I'm not even going to respond to that.
Well, I mean, when you're talking to someone who used to, I mean, it used to be like 2 cents around. Like you get a giant brick for a couple bucks type of thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but no, Yankees like, yeah, sure, you could be here any moment you want. It's your fault. Yeah, definitely didn't check all my options and shit. What do I know? Just sitting here paying fucking $1 around for 9 million.
Holy crap! You pay $1 around.
Nah, not really.
No, is that partly because of like, conversion or whatever too, or like is your dollar similar to ours?
No, I'm talking U.S. dollars.
Oh, okay. What currency do you use over there?
Oh, shekel.
And what is that compared to $1?
It's about 4 to $1, so it's like a quarter, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
9 mil is for hardball. Yeah, for Full Metal Jacket is around 80 cents here. I do believe that 22 is much cheaper. Much cheaper. I think it might be cheaper here than over there.
What, 22 is cheaper over there?
It might be. I'm not sure about this. I'll check. Let's see, CCI.
Well, if that's the case, I think you need to go to the store for me and send a little care package my way.
Yeah, if we could do that.
Of course, once you add international shipping, I'm sure it's not cheaper anymore.
It'll be more expensive than shipping it to Hawaii.
Yeah, and like the jail time and shit.
Yeah, but you'd be the one going to jail, so I'm okay with that.
No, I'm pretty sure we're all fucked if it has your address on it. Or are you gonna be like, I don't know why this guy's sending me stuff?
Yeah,
I don't
dude,
know.
prove that I know who this person is. What? What's that
Yeah,
you say? You have a live chat where I conspired with him? No, that ain't true.
That's not me.
Someone hacked my computer.
Hang on, I'm trying to find cheap 22.
So what time is it? What's your local time?
Fucking late.
Emmett?
It's
Oh, I thought it'd be
1:36.
okay.
No, I'm gonna go to sleep soon. I always
Well,
say that.
I've like seen you in what I would call our later chats, which means it's really got to be early for you.
Yeah, I hang out until early in the morning sometimes. If I don't have any reason to wake up early right now, so it doesn't matter. My wife and my daughter aren't here, and I'm not working currently, so it doesn't matter if I wake up at 9 or 12. There's no difference.
Man, just
Right.
living the life.
Yeah. Oh, really? I'm at my parents' house, and they're like harassing me over my assignments, so which is good because I need to finish those, but still. Yeah, I
Over
can't
your
find-
silence?
Assignments.
Right. There we go. 22 short. Who the hell buys 22 short even anymore? How much is that?
Somebody who didn't realize there was a thing called 22 long.
Jesus, it's expensive too.
Or someone who just saw something on the shelf that said 22 and bought it.
Yep.
Like, case in point, my buddy has a box of 22 short that he bought just because he's like, oh, 22, and he grabbed it and walked out. I mean, he didn't even look at what it was. And then we got up north. He had like one of those like bucket of bullet things, like before the whole craziness happened. So he still got it super cheap. And then he had this other thing. I'm like, dude, you realize these are different, right? And he's like, what? No, they're 22s. I'm like, no, not really.
Well, it's good he didn't make that mistake with like, I don't know.
More expensive stuff.
Yeah, or actually try to load the firearm with what? It's 7.62. What? There's two kinds of 7.62. Now I know why my AK is fucked up.
Yes, I know they wouldn't actually feed or anything like that. I'm just joking.
Oh, and then he was asking, he's like, so I could probably still just shoot this in my gun, right? And I was like, I don't think that's how it works.
It depends on the gun. There are a lot of guns that shoot 22 short and 22 long.
There's some revolvers.
Revolvers. I'm pretty sure some lever action 22s.
Well, he had a semi-automatic 22 rifle.
Yeah, he was screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I think it's a.
Oh, by the
Hey,
way,
you
hi,
little
Dan.
fuck! Fuck you!
Well, you might be able to fire them one at a time if you hand load it into the chamber.
That kind of sounds like a pain in the ass to do.
Well, I mean, if you're literally out of ammo,
If you're out of ammo and you have to shoot something and the only thing you have is a short 22, then it's just time to give up and die, really.
well, I mean, assuming that you've already run as far as you can.
Yeah, Tony's saying most 22s that aren't semi-auto will shoot.
Yeah.
Tony E.
I don't know, Tony with the little red icon thing.
I think that's Tony E. That's the Tony that was in here a lot of times.
Yeah, the old grumpy guy.
Yeah, the old grumpy guy doesn't even narrow it down in these chats.
It's like that's half the guys.
Some of them are so old and grumpy they count as two old grumpy guys. Yeah, no, but I know that most 22s that aren't, like he says, if it's not semi-auto, they'll probably be fine. But I don't know who buys that. Actually, you know what? I did see last time not last time, maybe the time before, I did see an old dude like show up with a bunch of short 22 ammo that he was like, I don't have anything to do with it. You want it? And the gun store guy was like, no, I don't. I have nothing to do with it either. Nobody wants it, but I'll take it from you if you don't want to keep it. I'll just dispose of it. Because people that have 22s here either have Beretta 71s, which are semi-automatic, or Rugers, which are semi-automatic. So I think that dude used to have like a 22 revolver or something, which is a strange choice of a gun in a country where you can only own one gun.
Well,
Like, what would possess you if you could only own one gun? You go to the store and you're like, out of all the guns here, I'm gonna take this 22 revolver.
yeah, but when did that go into effect? The one gun per person.
Yeah, fair enough. In the 90s, he might have had like 10 guns before or something.
I mean, I was 21 in I think it was either 82 or 83. It was 82.
Oh no, he definitely had more than one gun. You're right. And his wife had a couple of guns too. They were like two, but these were like really old people. They were like in their 80s.
Wow, Dano, you're the perfect age to be my drunken mistake dad.
Don't tempt me.
I know we already sound alike, and honestly, if I didn't look and act exactly like my dad, I would question that maybe you were.
Well, you never know.
So yeah, we talked a bunch of shit, and you still don't know what you're gonna buy, but whatever.
That's true. I still don't know what I want to buy, and I might not even go get something. But
Nah, go get something, man.
Buy food.
see, I have a tendency to think impulsively, but I rarely act impulsively. When I buy something, it's normally after months and months and months of thinking about it.
Oh, that's good. I mean, because at least you won't get yourself in trouble.
Get something cheap then.
Well, I don't necessarily want just something cheap, you know. Like I am
No,
I am
not saying,
of the
like, go and
mindset.
buy a High Point. I'm saying like don't get something super expensive.
Right. Well, and that's why a 22 was sounding attractive to me, or you know, even like the backup handgun thing, because I do like the Ruger LC9. That's a nice little backup, you know, single stack, good to go. Fuck, that's probably a pocket gun for me, you know, so it's no problem.
Yeah, but only if you get a pink one.
Been there, done that.
There you are then.
Yep, I used to have a pink SR22 and a pink LC9.
Oh man, an
Kind
LC9 is just an LC9 is sort of a modern. I mean, it's the same niche as a PPK that I was talking about, just more modern. So,
Right, and probably a bit cheaper.
oh, definitely cheaper.
LC9S Pro. Yeah, see, I heard that the striker fired one, like at least the trigger wasn't fucking horrible. Because that's the one thing, the trigger on the LC9 is like 5,000 miles long. Like you start with your arm extended and it goes off after like your finger touches like your shoulder. Like you got to pull that much.
Well, it looks like a nice. Again, never touched one, but they look reasonable.
Does anybody sell a relatively inexpensive upgrade for your LC? You said LC 9 or LC? Which one? Smeagol.
Yeah, the Ruger LC9. The LC9 is a hammer fired, and Ruger came out later with the LC9S, which is a striker fired, and that supposedly made the trigger a lot better. I've never shot the striker yet.
I handled both of those simultaneously at a gun shop, and the trigger it's night and day. The S it's Glock-like in it as far as the trigger, and it does not have that 10-mile pull of firing, almost firing, almost firing.
Well, the regular one has freaking like 2 resets. Like as you're letting the trigger out, it clicks, but that's not actually reset. You have to keep going until it clicks again.
Yeah,
How's that even possible? It's such a tiny gun.
Because it's not a real reset. It's just one of the mechanical items in there that you hear it click.
Right.
It's not.
Man,
It's not the reset. It's actually clicking.
Motherfucker. So I have this little like spring-assisted knife, and it's been like hanging up recently. It's out of rotation. It just sits on my coffee table now. But I was just playing with it like I normally do, and the spring just like popped or something. Now it won't even open, and there's no like spring tension. So it
there you are.
obviously.
I mean,
Now we know what you're gonna buy.
Yeah.
What, another pocket knife? Shit, I got plenty of those.
Is it the inexpensive one or?
You know, I don't really remember. It wasn't like insane. It's not like a freaking super high quality one, but it wasn't like
the question. Is it one where you can buy spare parts?
I don't know. I don't even know what brand it is.
I mean, because that makes all the difference. I mean, there's no point in taking it apart if you can't get a replacement spring.
Yeah, I could take it all apart anyway.
I mean,
so
unless it has sentimental value.
nah.
Or you've got nothing to do and you're that bored.
Well, sometimes I like taking shit apart just to see how it works.
See? You got nothing to do and you're that bored.
Yep, exactly. All right, so here's the knife, and it only opens up like that much, and then like it gets stuck.
Yeah.
And it and you got this little thing. You used to just like go like that, and then it flips all the way open. So
Right.
obviously the spring is now like on this side of the blade instead of being on the underside.
But that's all you need.
I mean, I'm sure it's like a coil spring or something. But I carried this for a long time. You can see it's all worn down. It's like missing some screws that hold the thing in. The clip fell off of it. So, I mean, I got plenty of use out of it.
I mean, you got enough of an edge on there to cut somebody. What more do you want?
Well, I'd like for it to open.
Well, it's open enough, according to my anti-gunner friends.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me open this up. Could you please stick your finger in between here and then...
It's like a pair of scissors.
Yeah. I can use
People
it
get
as
stabbed
a
by
cigar
scissors all
cutter.
the time.
Oh my God, you have such high demands. Can't you just, just deal with it?
Well, like I said, it's not freaking the end of the world. It's not like it's my carry knife anyways. I mean...
You can't do the pencil trick?
What's the pencil trick?
Watch the pencil disappear?
Oh. I guess I could, but that doesn't help me cut stuff.
Well, it'll help you with with the problem person.
That's true, but realistically, I carry a knife 98% of the time to cut things. And that's all I really care about.
Well, what else are you going to do with a knife other than cut things?
Well, I mean, you
I comb my hair.
cut people, cut bad guys, but that was like, dude, there was one time I got pulled over, and it was straight up just because I was, a 20-something-year-old driving at midnight in this town that has like a lot of bars and stuff. So he made up something like, oh, you were swerving. I wasn't. I hadn't been drinking. I knew I was fine. So anyways, he basically like pulled over and said, okay, step out of the car. Like right away, he wanted to go do the sobriety test and shit. I'm like, this is a bunch of crap, dude. You got no reason for it, but whatever. I'll comply. So I get out, and of course he's like, oh, they always say, do you have any weapons on you or, anything sharp or pointy or whatever. And I always try and make a caveat and say, well, I don't have a weapon, but there is a pocket knife. Like I always like to point out that I don't consider a pocket knife a weapon. I know cops do, but I don't. It's just a tool. And he said something like, well, why are you carrying a knife on you? And I just looked at him like he was the dumbest person in the world and said, to cut things? Well, what kind of things? I'm like, I don't know, tape, string, boxes. Like, when do you need to cut stuff? Envelopes? I cut that kind of shit all the time.
You wanna bet if you picked him up by his feet and upside down and shook him, like 4 knives would fall out of that police officer's pockets? Fucking hell.
But anyway, so that's always just my excuse. To cut things.
Yeah, you don't want to come off as a smart ass, but on the other hand, what else do you have to say?
Well, I don't mind coming off as a smart ass if I know I'm not going to get in trouble. Because there was no original ticket he could write for it. I knew that I wasn't drunk driving. So...
You don't think he could have made up something and they would have, walked to the back of your car, take out his nightstick, make a little ding in your tail light? I mean, or pull something out of his pocket, toss it in your back seat, and what's this back here that I see? What's this, a joint?
I guess that's possible, but I like to live in a world where most cops aren't corrupt.
Well, I'm not saying most cops, but cops with an attitude are generally more likely, if they have something, to stick it to you than not stick it to you, because they've got an issue. They're a dick.
I don't want to get all back into the cop talk
dicks,
like we were earlier, but yeah,
cops that are not dicks don't do that.
That's true. I guess I'm always the optimist and have goodwill of my fellow man, that they're not a bunch of jerks.
In the real world, it's my fellow man that I'm far more concerned about than the cops.
Well, the cop is my fellow man.
No, I mean it's the civilian versus the law enforcement officer.
I know what you're saying, but in my book, a police officer is no different than you, or my next door neighbor or anybody else.
Right, but
They
when
are
he's
humans just
when
like
he's
all of
clocked in, when he's clocked in, he thinks of himself as different, and that's what makes the difference. Is the mindset.
Well, I identify as an attack helicopter.
I mean, and I understand why they do that, because when they're on the clock, they have to think differently. The problems result is when they're off the clock and they can't make that change in thinking.
I wonder if I have these types of screws. It's like a star kind of thing. You know, it's not an
The
Allen.
conversation actually went full
Full circle, yeah.
Yeah, torque
pretty
screw,
I
hilarious.
don't,
torque wrench.
Yeah,
That's what you're
torque
looking
screw.
for.
That's
I
true.
don't,
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any torque. So I'm gonna take this apart right now.
Whenever I need one, I just buy the one I need for that particular project. I never buy the whole set, so I have like 3 different size torque wrenches. So the chances of me ever getting the same one twice is like 0.
Oh shit, this thing's like finger loose. I might be able to just loosen it here. That's probably why the spring popped out. Yeah. I just took the main like bolt off. That was easy.
Wow, nice shoulder holsters are fucking expensive. Like ridiculously expensive.
They're also very expensive, and I realize there's more material, but still.
Oh, I'm I'm looking over there. What do you think? I'm gonna look for? I don't even want to know what the prices here are. I'm
Where the
definitely,
fuck's
if I'm
the
getting
spring?
one.
I'm so confused.
If I'm getting one, I'm definitely getting it in the U.S. I'm definitely not getting it here.
What?
Well,
The
wouldn't if you
hell?
got it local to you, the shipping already be included in the price?
No, if I'll get it there, I'll ship it to my family over there and wait for them to bring it over.
Oh, okay.
If I get it here, I might as well just go to a custom holster maker and have it done. It'll cost
Yeah.
the same.
I mean,
no problem.
Does your family come over like once a year or something like that?
Twice even.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly
I mean-
convenient for you. You just
Yeah,
have to wait.
my aunt is coming pretty soon, but I don't know if I'm just looking. I'm not sure I want to buy anything else
Yeah.
because I spent a lot of money on stuff lately.
Gotcha.
But I
You
need,
gotta keep the wife happy.
yeah, I don't know. I need to not.
You know,
go broke.
there's
It's
a
hard.
saying in this country, and I'm curious if you have ever heard it over in yours, and it's called "Happy Wife, Happy Life."
Oh, no shit. That's how it works.
Emmett, do you ever
And
hear
no,
that?
Dano, I don't mean what you just said, but that's kind of neat
Oh,
how this little spring
nice.
thing works. Yeah.
Although, yeah, also that's how it works. Yeah, I know the saying. It doesn't. There isn't a similar saying in Hebrew, but I know the English.
But it only works if they do the same. Happy husband, happy life. If both people are doing the same thing, it generally things work out.
Alright.
Yeah, no, they're fucking expensive though. I mean, we're looking at $150 probably, at least.
Oh yeah, that sounds right.
That kind of sucks.
I mean, a combination
Yeah, for that-
between the price and the fact that I don't wear jackets very often, suit jackets.
Uh-huh.
That I don't wear one. Now, I suppose it would come in handy in our winters. Smeggy, what do you think?
Yeah.
Also carry for winters?
Yeah, I mean, because you're normally wearing a coat and stuff. But see, I wear t-shirts even in the winter too. So like once I got to the place I was going, I take my coat off. So they just don't really fit
Okay.
my needs very well. But you're right. Especially if you wear just like a long sleeve shirt or something, or like I don't know, something else.
But
No, we
most
talked
people
about
like
We talked about it yesterday.
Thank you.
It's kind of it's
Does
a
that mean we
niche
can't talk
product.
about it anymore?
No. I'm just saying, like, on the contrary, I brought it up, so I'm certainly not going to say don't talk about it.
Oh, I'm just teasing.
All right. Is that? Oh, you dirty whore! You fucking dirty whore! There you go.
Easy now.
Hey, I might just have this thing put back together. I gotta get that screw
It's
in
still
there.
missing a bunch of parts.
those are extras. They give you extras.
Well, I got to collect my things and get to work. We'll catch y'all later.
All right,
See
take
ya.
it easy, man.
Bye.
Oh, you bitch! It broke again.
This is becoming like strangely disturbing because I can only hear what you're saying. So
What do you mean you can only hear what I'm saying? I'm
like,
the only one
there's-
talking.
No, but because there's no video of you fixing the knife, I can only hear like you slapping something and saying, "Oh, you bitch" and shit. So it's kind of like
Oh, yeah,
it's
that's
becoming slightly disturbing. Not very, but kinda.
well, I'm also trying to like tighten screws with just my fingers and whatnot because I don't have any of the screw bits. So obviously it's loose as all hell, anyways. But I'm just trying to get it put back together, and then I'll go look at my tools and see if I have some of these, and I'll tighten them up a little bit more. It still is never going to turn back into my carry knife, but it will certainly be a coffee table knife. There's no problem with that. Hey, hell yeah! It does not open as fast as it used to. I wonder if if I tighten it up, if the spring would get tighter. Yeah, that's like horrible, but it opens. Cool. All right, it's back together. I'll mess with it more later. That was fun. Huh. Well, all right, guys. I'm gonna go take care of some stuff here for a minute, but I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, what the hell? Everyone's leaving me? I know I said I was going to go for a while, and I started going for a walk, and I already got bored. I missed you guys. Fine, don't talk to me. I don't care. I don't want to talk to you anyways. Oh man, now there's even less people in here. What the hell?